All right, now that we have our index file saved out, even though it's got a whole lot of nothing inside it, let's actually get it open up inside some browsers, and we'll talk about working with web browsers and going back and forth between our code and things like this. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to pop into this local root folder, my project files folder, and lo and behold, of course, there's my index.html file. And what I want to do is I want to get this guy opened up inside a web browser. So this is the same, by the way, on the Mac and on the PC side. I'm going to right-click on this guy and head down to Open With and then choose a browser. For example, maybe I want to start off with Google Chrome. So that's the guy I'm going to use here. So I'll go ahead and choose that guy. And of course, my file now opens up inside Google Chrome. Now, again, if you've never ever done this stuff before, this can be kind of odd or weird because we are looking at a local file inside our web browser. So in other words, inside my address bar, I can see the file path that drills down, that points all the way down to index.html. And of course, inside the main browser window, I have a whole lot of nothing happening so far anyway. So that's how it works, right? Now, what we can do as well, and this may become a bigger deal further down the road, is rather than having our file opened up inside one browser, we may in fact want to have it opened up inside multiple browsers. So give me a second here. I'm just going to hide Chrome. Command H here on the Mac or on the PC side. You can just drill all the way back down to your desktop, all the way back down to my project files folder. I can right click on this guy again, down to Open With, and then choose a second browser, perhaps in my case, Firefox. So I could choose that guy. And of course, Firefox springs to life, and I still get a whole lot of nothing inside Firefox for now. Now, you might even want to go further. In the real world, we might even want to go with a third browser. Maybe I'll go with Safari here on the Mac. So now what I have is the same file, index.html, opened up inside Safari here. I also have him opened up inside Google Chrome. I also have them opened up still inside Firefox, and don't forget I still have them opened up inside my original coding application, again in my case, TextEdit. So I actually have the file opened up in multiple places. And the reason why I want to have this guy opened up in a variety of browsers, and again, this could play out further down the road, is when we start adding things in and start messing around and perhaps even throwing in some of the new features that we find inside CSS3, we want to make sure that the browsers are rendering this content correctly, right? So we want to be testing and previewing our work inside these browsers. Now, this process of testing and previewing goes something like this. I come into my editing application, as I'll refer to it, and I make some kind of a change, even a simple change, like typing in my first name, Jeff. Let me zoom in here a little bit so you can see this a little better. There we go, maybe something like that, right? Now, the next thing that I have to do is I have to save my file. Now, I use a lot of keyboard shortcuts when I'm doing this, so I hope that's all right with you. So here on the Mac, I'm going to hit Command S. If you're on the PC side, you can hit Control S. And then what I would do is I would tab back over to one of my browsers. So here on the Mac, I'm going to use Command Tab. On the PC side, it's Alt Tab. And then inside the browser, I would have to refresh to see the latest version of this file. And to do so, I would hit Control or Command R. And hey, there's my first name now showing up inside the browser. And then I'd flip over to the next browser, Firefox perhaps, refresh, Control or Command R. Hey, there's my name again. And then over to the third browser in my case and refresh one more time. There we go. So it's this constant process of going back to the coding file, the application, making a change here, maybe throwing in my last name, saving, Control or Command S, tabbing back over to your browser, Command Tab here on the Mac, Alt Tab on the PC side, and then refreshing, Control or Command R. Now, obviously, this is a very, very simple example. Wait until we get into things like page layout, graphics, typography, all that heavy-duty stuff, right? We're going to be doing a lot of this stuff, but I'm just giving you a very simple idea or a very simple example of how this would actually all play out. You could consider this your coding workflow, I suppose. All right, now a quick mention on your browsers. Which browsers should you be using? Should you be using 3 browsers or 5 browsers or more? I don't know. Well, here's the deal. We want to stick with the popular browsers, right? So the rule of thumb is if you've heard of it, then maybe you should preview your work in it. So for instance, Chrome, definitely. Chrome is huge, right? So we want to make sure that we're previewing our work inside Chrome. For Mac users, definitely use Safari. We definitely want to be checking our work inside Safari here. And we definitely want to be checking our work inside Firefox as well, on both the Mac and the PC side. And then for our PC users, we definitely want to have Internet Explorer open as well. And even for our Mac users, we want to eventually, once we get there, we want to be previewing our work inside Internet Explorer on the PC side, just to see how things are rendering, right? We can work for hours and hours and hours on the Mac, making our web layout perfect, only to go over to the PC side and have our hearts crushed when we preview our work inside Internet Explorer. So definitely keep that in mind as we go. But I think maybe for now, just while we're getting started, I'm actually going to quit out of Firefox, and I'm actually going to quit out of Safari as well. For myself, it's just going to be TextEdit and Chrome for now, at least until we really get rolling. Then maybe I'll involve some other browsers. So I hope this has been helpful for you.